Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to My World of Stocks. My name is Ali, of course, and also welcome back to our Budget Community Portfolio series for the month of July 2024. Now, this is not my private, larger portfolio, personal portfolio. This is the community public budget portfolio where I basically deposit $100 a month into this brand new portfolio that we created from scratch, basically this year, mostly this year. And I use that money to invest in stocks with an update video that I put out for you guys every month to show you the progress on this new portfolio. It's a really fun series that we do here on the channel. Now, if you do want to stay completely up to date with every single trade and transaction that I make in the portfolio as soon as it happens, well, you can get access to all of that in our community Discord, which you can also join by supporting me either on Patreon or here on YouTube through the join button, and that'll get you access to the Discord and you can see every trade I make on there. And by the way, thank you to everyone that does support the channel that way. It does mean a lot to me because I probably wouldn't be able to do this without you. So thank you for that support. Now, with all of that said, let's go ahead and jump into this month's update, because I can't wait to share with you all the stocks that I purchased this last month in June and show you how every stock is performing so far, and also what I plan to do this month here going into July as well. It's going to be a ton of fun. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so here's the account so far. We've got a total balance now of close to $970. It might change a little throughout this video because the market was actually still open when I took these screenshots. But here's a few custom charts that I made for you guys just to show you all the information, make it a little easier to understand. So we've now had this account for 8 full months. But I actually deposited an extra $100 last month on top of the regular $100, so it was like a $200 deposit last month. So we actually have now a total of $900 deposited, despite it being 8 months. And that's versus our current balance of $969, which means, of course, we are up $69 or 8% on the portfolio, which is pretty good. And it gets even better, actually, if we exclude the cash portion, which is obviously stagnant, and we just look at our stock positions alone. We're actually up double digits at 11% gains so far on the money that's invested in stocks, and that's really good for such a young portfolio like this. Speaking about cash though, our cash balance currently sits at $282, which means we have a cash ratio of just under 30%, which is not too far off where I'd like it to be. Last month it was actually a bit lower, and that's why I decided to deposit that extra $100 last month. If you saw last month's video, you're well aware of that. I actually think in the future I might do this on occasion whenever we do run low on cash reserves. As time goes on, the portfolio will get bigger, our stock positions will get bigger, and so the relationship of that to our cash is going to become greater over time. So we might have to figure out ways to deposit more money into the portfolio. So I don't know, maybe once in a while I'll do an extra special bonus deposit like I did last month, or maybe I'll just start increasing by small increments our monthly limit. So maybe instead of $100 budget, maybe it'll be $120. Maybe then later on I can increase it to like $140, maybe small increments of like $20. I'm not exactly sure how I want to handle that yet, but for right now we'll just stick to the $100 limit, and we'll see in the future if I do decide to raise it or do anything with it. Anyway, like I said, last month though, we did have an extra $100, which gave us a lot more firepower to go in and be able to buy more stocks. So let's take a look at all the stocks that I purchased with that money back in June last month. So as always, I ran a few polls to see what additional stocks you guys would also like to see added to the portfolio. And I did one poll per week last month, including this one on Patreon, where I asked which brand new stock should we add to the community portfolio? And in order of smallest to largest, 6% of the votes went to Air Products and Chemicals, 12% went to Broadcom, 12% went to C3.ai, 24% went to PayPal, and for the win, we had 47% of the votes going to Cisco. So we added that to the portfolio, and I love to see that. I love Cisco stock. Then the following week on YouTube, I asked the same question again, to which 4% of the votes went to GM, 9% went to Tencent, 23% went to Intel. I kind of switched up the stocks a little bit. 24% went to Broadcom, and then a whopping 40% went to PayPal. So we picked up PayPal stock as well. Pretty good value stock there. Then in week 3 on Discord, I asked which of our 10 largest holdings should we buy more of, to which 43% of the votes went to Amazon as the winner. So we bought more of Amazon stock. And then in week 4, back over on YouTube, I asked which of our 5 best performing stocks should we buy more of, to which 24% of the votes went to Nvidia for just a slight win there, just barely ahead of Google, Palantir, and Tesla. Anyway, with those trades, along with all the other trades that I made throughout the month, all the other stocks I purchased, well, we ended up spending the most money on Amazon, Baidu, and Cisco at $15 a piece, with another $10 going to each of Bristol Myers Squibb, Nvidia, and PayPal, and then another $5 each to Alibaba, Disney, Medtronic, and Palantir. And just to show you how the monthly purchases compare, this was our second biggest month in terms of spending. Again, thanks to that extra $100 that I deposited to give us a little more firepower after a weak May, where we were starting to run low on cash reserves. So that kind of helped us bounce back a little bit in June. But yeah, overall, I would say it was a very good month. Like I said, we had more cash, so we were able to go out there and buy more fantastic stocks, and we got a wide variety of them too. There was a good balance there, I feel, of different values and some growth in there, some dividends, different levels of risk, just all around some great pickups. And I also like the 2 new additions of Cisco and PayPal, which you guys voted for. But Cisco, great value dividend stock. PayPal, also good value stock. Both have growth potential too, in my opinion, turnaround potential. Both stocks have been kind of beaten down a bit, and so I feel like there were good pickups, good values there. And I especially love Cisco right now. It's one of my favorite new dividend stocks that I've been looking into and picking up, also in my personal private portfolio too. Speaking about all of that though, let's take a look now at all the holdings that we have so far in the portfolio, and let's take a look at how much I'm either up or down on each of these stocks so far, and then we'll finish up with what I plan to do here in July moving forward as well, and we'll kind of bring it all together. Okay, so here's all the holdings on SoFi. I had to use a video screenshot this time because there's so many of them, so I kind of had to scroll through them here. But as always, I convert this information into charts so that's easier for you to understand. So here's a pie chart of everything that we have so far. And right off the bat, I can tell you guys that I'm just very happy with Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta making up the top 4 holdings. I couldn't ask for much of a better group of stocks there to lead the pack. I'm glad that those are our 4 biggest stocks there for sure. I do think that Pfizer might be a little high there at number 5. So, it's something I've talked about in the past. I might try to replace that as a top 5 holding with something that I like a little bit more. There are some stocks just kind of right under it that I think could fit better there, especially a couple of these dividend stocks like Medtronic or Extra Space Storage. I love both those stocks, so we'll see. Might replace Pfizer with one of those by buying a little bit more of those here in the coming month. By the way, Nvidia got up here now. It used to be one of our smallest positions, but we've of course been buying more of them, so now they're a little bit bigger. Glad to see that as well. And I also just want to say that I love this group of dividend stocks that we've been building up lately. I think it's very important for a young portfolio to have lots of dividends coming in. And look at these stocks, guys. I mean, I just love them. Pfizer, Medtronic, EXR, Bristol Myers, Verizon, Nexera Energy, Tyson Foods, Cisco. I mean, some of those stocks have amazing dividends. They got really big dividends. Some of them also are very good value stocks. So definitely we'll be looking to buy more of those in the coming month as well. Speaking of which, here are the ups and downs of each position so far. And yeah, Nvidia is still leading the pack, up a whopping 40% from our cost basis. But then look at this, guys. Literally our number 1 largest stock in Google, it's actually up the second most out of the entire portfolio at 28% gains. How awesome is that? I love to see that. Some of our biggest stocks performing well. Love to see that. And then Tesla and Palantir also up 20%, over 20% each. Those are obviously smaller positions. But then we've also got several good ones here in the teens, especially Amazon and Microsoft with 17% and 12% gains. Those are our number 2 and number 3 largest holdings. So very happy with that performance. And then from there, honestly, I would just be more than happy to buy more of any of these other stocks here in July that are only up in the single digits or actually negative. I mean, in the single digits, Cisco, Verizon, those got great dividends. Love to buy more of those. And then in the negative performers, I mean, we gotta buy more Medtronic there being negative, and probably some more of like VeriSign and PayPal, great like value tech stocks in my opinion. And then Bristol Myers Squibb would also be great for their dividend. them and Baidu are also both down double digits. So we're gonna have to see if we can lower our cost basis on those a little bit in the future. So lots of good options really to be buying here in July. There's literally no shortage of options to pick from. I think we definitely have to run some more polls. I want to see what you guys would like to have added to the portfolio. And there's even some other stocks too that I still want to add to the portfolio that are not yet in there. Stocks like Intel. In the last video, I just mentioned AstraZeneca. That's a stock I've been researching more lately and I really like. There's also still General Motors. I still like them. And I also like C3 for what they do in artificial intelligence. More risky speculative stock, but one that could have potential. So we'll see. I'm going to run more polls, see what you guys want added to the portfolio, but it's going to be an active month for sure. And as always, I added another fresh $100 for July for our budget. So that actually brings our portfolio up now to over $1,000 for the first time ever, which is an awesome milestone to reach for this new budget portfolio. And this now leaves us with a current cash ratio of 36% as well, which is pretty good. Okay, so just to finish up here, guys, I actually want to try something new this month, see if you guys like it, but I want to respond to a couple comments. This is meant to be a community public portfolio. I want you guys to have influence over it, so I want to respond to some of your guys' feedback and comments. We're just going to test it out with just a couple comments today. I just picked up 2 quick comments to respond to, but in the future, I may respond to more, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if you guys like this. So picked a couple comments here from last month's video from the June update. And we had this comment here, for example, from Markazoid, who asked, "What? No Apple?" And yeah, that's I'm surprised this is the first time someone's mentioned that, or maybe maybe I missed a comment before, but I think that's the first time anyone's mentioned Apple. Look, Apple is a core stock in my as a core stock for many people's portfolios. It is also a small holding in my private personal portfolio. It's just a small one. I'm not the biggest fan of Apple, but a lot of people do like them, and it's a giant company, very profitable, so I would not mind at all adding it to this portfolio as well. Tell you what, guys, we're gonna add it to a poll. We're asking you guys what new stock you want added to the portfolio. I'll include Apple. I'll let you guys vote for it. If Apple gets chosen, then we'll add it to the portfolio. Sound good? All right, then we have also this comment here from Jumpy Jeffrey, who said, "I like the idea of this series, but this portfolio is way too diversified for how small it is. It's like a mini ETF, and having a low cash balance is normal for a small account. This seems more like how an account of $600,000 plus should be ran. You should be more aggressive to start and transition to more conservative once it gets bigger." Okay, so yeah, that's a very interesting comment there. I don't completely disagree with you, and I hear where you're coming from, but I suppose I am kind of running this portfolio in a similar way to how I run my personal private one, which is obviously much larger, to your point, and that is to just kind of search out and hunt my favorite different stocks in the market and pick those up, and not, try not to overthink it by too much. You have to remember too, this is a new kind of young portfolio that is a public one. So I suppose there is a little bit of cautious there, where I am kind of trying to diversify my holdings a little bit, just so that, again, it's a public portfolio. It's something new that we're trying out on the channel. I don't necessarily want people following along with something that performs poorly. And so if I was to do what you're saying, which is to go, be more aggressive, going heavier on a fewer amount of stocks, well, if those fewer amount of stocks happen to perform poorly, it could really sink our portfolio in a big way. Whereas diversifying, spreading that money out across many different stocks, helps lower the risk a little bit. And that's also just kind of how I like to invest in stocks. I don't like having just a couple stocks. I'm very passionate about stock market investing. It's actually something that I enjoy doing. Like, I love hunting out different stocks. I love researching companies. I love researching stocks. So there's always different stocks on my radar that I'm looking to pick up, and I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. I'm kind of like a kid in a candy store. So I hear where you're coming from, where my strategy might be a little too broad, might be a little bit kind of like a mini ETF. I'm kind of spread all over the place, but these are just like my favorite companies, my favorite stocks out there that I really believe in, and I'm trying not to overthink it too much. I'm trying to just kind of, as a long-term minded investor, I'm trying to just have a healthy balance here of different levels of risk, different types of stocks, value, growth, dividends, different sectors, and just kind of putting it all together. And I like to hunt out for my favorite stocks, Buy them slowly in small amounts. I'm a very patient, long-term minded investor, and over time that always brings me success. I've always had success with that kind of strategy. I grant you, it is a little bit more of a cautious one. It is a little more cautious. I'm not going all in on Nvidia. I'm not going all in on Tesla or something like that. I'm spreading out. But this is just kind of the strategy that I've always liked to use. And by the way, the portfolio is doing really great so far. We're doing very well for this being a young, brand new portfolio, a public one, something new that we're testing out on the channel. So it's going perfect. I do feel like there's a bit of a sense of don't try to fix what's not broken here. It's going very well. And I know that you're not implying that. This comment, by the way, is not a negative comment in any way. You're just giving your opinion, your feedback, and I truly appreciate it. It's awesome. I love to hear your guys' feedback. But it might just be a little bit of a situation where we kind of have to agree to disagree a little bit, because I kind of like my, a little more cautious, a little broader, diversified approach, at least for now. But anyway, if any of you guys have any other thoughts or comments or feedback, drop them down below. I'd love to hear them. And I might feature your comments in a future video too. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by, my friends. Thank you for all your support. By the way, if you want to support me another way, you can try SoFi. There's a link down in the description, affiliate link. If you give SoFi a try, you get free money. And I love using SoFi. We use it for this account, and it's been a pleasure to use. And you get free money just for giving it a try. It's completely free. So maybe consider doing that. Help support the channel too. Anyway, thanks again, my friends. I appreciate everything you do, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. And I will catch you in the next video. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.